The Army probably couldn't have drawn it up any better with the number of prospects you had and their production as well.
Yeah, we were very impressed as an organization, happy for the players. Having 7 players there was a feather in the amateur staff's cap, and then how they performed there, not only the first-year players, but all 7 players, and all produced offense. All were very good 200-foot players. We got, as an organization, a gold, a silver, and a bronze to show for it. So it was a great 2 weeks for us.
Were you able to see everybody?
Yeah, it was a great. Obviously, getting the guys in the semifinals and the finals and the bronze medal game was good. But we got a chance to see everybody, and just very impressed by their overall game and the offensive production from the players that we're hoping for was really good. And I think the one guy that surprised everybody was Theo Lindstein. He had a great tournament. He wasn't selected to the team, and then there was an injury, and then his first game somebody got suspended for that game. The next one he took full advantage of it, making the all-star team and a top producing player for a really good Sweden team, and he'll be back there next year with a ton of confidence in that tournament.
With Theo, what outside of the points kind of stood out to you about his game?
For Theo,
Yeah.
I mentioned when I left, I thought he was Carl Gunnarsson, and no disrespect to Gunny whatsoever, but I didn't know he could skate to the level he could skate at, and his ability to pass the puck at the NHL level now. He's an NHL passer now. The firmness and the crispness, he made it look like he's a player that offensive players want to play with, but just his overall skating and his firmness was very impressive.
Doug, did you get a chance to talk to him about that, though, the fact that he didn't get initially selected, but just the fact that he embraced the situation and took full advantage of it, I guess?
No, I didn't talk to them. I didn't talk to any of the players personally over there, but obviously Alexander Steen was coaching on that team, and he told him that, it doesn't really matter how you get here, you're here, and it's how you take advantage of it. And all the guys did a great job there. I thought Stenberg, too. Stenberg and Kaskimaki really impressed me with their 200-foot game. I think they're going to be really good pro players. They got those pro attributes. They go to the front of the net, especially Kaskimaki. As we talked when we went over there, that these guys, those two in particular, were playing in men's teams and getting offensive situations. And we were hoping that they would be able, against their peer group, take advantage of that. And I thought they did. And it was... Again, you feel like sort of a proud papa right now, but really happy for our amateur staff because they put a lot of work in, and to come back with the goals and assists and total points that those guys got, plus not doing it and winning a lot of medals, shows that they can be good players on good teams.
Doug, I think we're all aware that Snuggerud does a great shot, but then you see that one time where, were you watching at the moment you saw it, just how exciting that was? And then is that a shot that's going to be able to translate and be one of the better shots in the NHL?
Yeah, that changed the momentum of that game. He's going to be a power play player. He can score from distance. That's hard to do, as we know. We've had some players that can score from distance, and they're just game breakers. They have the ability to score, and I think playing with someone potentially like Robert Thomas is going to Robert will enjoy all the helpers he can get if this guy can do this at the NHL level. And again, just a difference maker, a game changer. He had a hat trick in one game. He probably could have had 2 or 3 more, and he got the flu over there, which sort of knocked him back a little bit. You could tell his pace had dropped off, but he got demoted. Had the hat trick game and then missed the next one, and then came back, and they had a really good game. The game he missed, so he was sent down the lineup. But then once they got to the semifinals, they got off to a rocky start, and he elevated back up to that top line and played there. So he had a good tournament, and what a great way for him to end that portion of his career.
How do you know if
How
do you know if a college player is ready to make the jump to the pros?
It's hard. He's going to get every opportunity to make the jump right now. Usually what these guys do when they come in after their junior or senior year, they're more mature. He's going to come in, hopefully we'll have to talk to he and his family and see what they think is best for him, but he's coming out at the same age as a Dean or a Bolduc, and that's usually a bit harder, but he hasn't shown us. You look at his line mates as a freshman what Cooley and Nyes are doing in the NHL now. You know, he doesn't have that same type of support in his second year, but he's still a very good player. I think he might have banged in a couple when he got back already, and so he's going to have the opportunity to play very quickly, if not immediately.
How much, if any, do those performances shift your plans for the future with some of these prospects?
They don't really. I think that when we went down that path last year, and I think we were pretty consistent that we weren't hoping to go down that path a year ago. We were hoping to have a much better team than we had, but that expedited our process, and then having 5 players from one draft gets us excited. And what you don't want to do, there's a feeling that, you know, sometimes the players fail the teams and sometimes the teams fail the players. And what I mean by that is if you put them in positions not to succeed, and expectations too high. So what we want to do is build this foundationally, and not build it on a house of cards, and not want to put them in the NHL too early, and have them fail. So we're telling people we're a young team. Look at us, we got all these young players. But if they're not getting better or they can't sustain it, and what we want to do is give them the chance to have that long-term good career, and to do that it's building the foundation. And they might do it as early as next year, but it might be a couple of years. But we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater trying to rush people in to situations that don't give these players the best for the organization moving forward.
So when they do it on that stage and then you pick up the phone to make a trade, you know, the fact that other people saw them produce like that at that level, does that help out when you're throwing names out? Yeah,
I always find that you find the value of your prospects at the trade deadline. And I think the value, if we were, let's say we were sitting where Vancouver is right now, or the Rangers or one of those top teams, I know there'd be a lot. It wouldn't just be, okay, do you want to move that player? We'd have 4 or 5 that they would say, okay, how about this guy? How about that guy? And quite honestly, we haven't been there in a while in this organization, probably since I got here in 2008. But that's part of the plan that we have, and I know the plan, the internal plan. It's not sexy, and it's not something people want to buy. You know, they don't really care how you're going to be in 26, 27. But when you build an organization, that's how you have to look at it, and that's what we're doing, and we do like our foundation now.
Anything else?
Was a different viewing experience for you, watching 7 guys versus maybe 1 or 2 that you had previously?
Yeah, it was. You're going over there, as I said, you're excited, you're hoping that they do well, and then I didn't get there. I left here the 28th and had flight trouble, so I didn't see my first game to the 30th. And by that time, they had already all had put the stake in the ground and were playing good, so you sort of walk in and saying, I hope they're as good as advertised, and they were. And so, but the exciting part is right now, we'll have those, I can't see those 5 guys that won't make their team next year, and then we have a couple of players like Fisher and is a good player, Burns is a good player, and that nothing to do with this year's draft coming up. So we could have another minimum 5, maybe 7 or 8 again next year, which is these are positive things as you're trying to build.
We didn't ask about Dvorsky, but what were your thoughts on his tournament?
He played really good the last game, the elimination game. Again, an 18-year-old, they had a 19-year-old line that was the number 1 line. He nudged a few of those guys out of the way as the tournament went along, and he's a gifted offensive player. I was telling the guys he reminds me a little bit of Pierre Turgeon in the sense that he great puck protection skills, great hockey IQ. Not the prettiest skater, but an effective skater. Something, the area that he has to improve on, but his hockey IQ was near the tops in that tournament, which was very impressive.
And I know getting to the OHL was helpful for him playing this year, but it's also helped get him to the prospect tournament, get him to training camp, and kind of see him a little bit more that way. Yeah,
it does. I think right now what we have to do is make sure that what he's doing in the OHL, he's not picking up bad habits. Right now he plays a lot in the power play. He gets a lot of points in the power play, and sometimes when you're that gifted, things can come a little too easy for you. So he went from getting no opportunity to now just playing in a massive offensive role. But the one thing that when I heard the his manager of his junior team now and his team, his national team, they talk about his work ethic and his professionalism and how players gravitate to him. That's something that it's great to hear, because his work ethic, the way he prepares, the way he trains, when he gets to the rink, how he acts as a pro, they talk about it unsolicited at both those two different teams. So that's something that's going to bode really well for him. But it's been a great experience for him in the CHL, and looking forward to having a great second half. And he's a competitive player, and I know that he's focused on his job today, but I also know that he's going to push hard to be in St. Louis next year, and that's what we want from him and Snuggie and all these guys.